The 2010 Corvette ZR1 was the first ever to be equipped with Performance Traction Management, or PTM. PTM is an advanced system that integrates your traction control, active handling, and selective ride control systems to enhance racetrack driving consistency and overall performance. With PTM, you can now push full throttle while exiting a corner on a racetrack, as the system automatically manages your overall acceleration dynamics. To select PTM, quickly press the Active Handling Mode switch twice. This places the vehicle in PTM mode number 1, which is intended for use on a wet racetrack. The DIC will display Perf Track 1 Wet, Active Handling On, and the lighting of the Selective Ride Control switch will change. Once PTM is selected, the Selective Ride Control switch is used to increase or decrease PTM modes. Rotating the knob to the right, towards the plus sign, increases the mode level, while rotating the knob to the left, towards the minus sign, decreases the mode level. Keep in mind that only one PTM mode change will take place per rotation, and that as a mode is being selected, the appropriate selective ride setting activates. There are 5 different PTM modes. The first is intended for use when a racing surface is wet, while the other 4 modes are used when a racing surface is dry. The 4 dry modes range from the most conservative setting of Perf Track 2 Dry to the most aggressive Perf Track 5 Race. Keep in mind that it's highly recommended that the dry modes are never used on wet track conditions. As well, as each mode provides different characteristics and more driver interaction will be required as a selected mode is increased, it's also recommended that drivers familiarize themselves with the most conservative modes and then increase their way through the other modes as their experience and driving confidence builds. It's also important to know that as the PTM mode is increased from Perf Track 3 Sport to Perf Track 4 Sport, that the active handling system automatically disables. For this reason, it's important that a person's driving style is appropriately modified. Drivers should also remember that launch control is available in each PTM mode and that its performance is unaffected by the PTM level selected. When it comes to using PTM to consistently drive your ZR1 at a high level of performance on a racetrack, the first thing to remember is that PTM is not intended to replace good driving habits, but is rather designed to reward them. Erratic driver inputs with PTM will have the same result as they would without PTM, those being slow and inconsistent lap times. To maximize PTM's benefits, it's important that you enter your vehicle into a corner at an appropriate track speed. Then, at the point where you would normally pick up the throttle and start to modulate it to put the vehicle at the proper corner exit point, you can now instead depress the throttle to wide open. PTM will manage the appropriate level of acceleration for the mode that's selected and the vehicle's given dynamics. This means that you only need to focus on steering the vehicle along the appropriate race lines. This slow-in, fast-out racing philosophy maximizes PTM's potential as well as your own, and following these simple steps means that you'll be rewarded with fast and consistent lap times. To perform a launch control launch, first, start the vehicle. Next, press the active handling switch twice to enter competitive driving mode. For those of you with the ZR1, you can now select your desired performance traction mode. Launch control will now be active. Next, press the clutch firmly to the floor. Now, place the vehicle in first gear. Floor the accelerator pedal quickly and firmly. Your vehicle's RPM will remain at its prescribed launch RPM. And finally, release the clutch and go. Launch control takes advantage of available traction for consistent, quick launches. Do not use launch control until your Corvette has been properly broken in. Please see your owner manual for more information.